Hi guys. All right, so 6.2, properties of a parallelogram. We're going to get started on this. So the first thing we want to talk about is a quadrilateral, quad, that first part, a four-sided figure. All right, and then from a quadrilateral we jump into what we know as a parallelogram. Right down here is the parallelogram that I have drawn for you guys. You'll notice a little bit of my whiteout. All right, and you'll notice it's marked up a bit. We're going to go through those steps in just a minute. Just a little reminder, these purple arrows on the sides, and here, that's the symbol for telling you the lines are parallel, not congruent. A lot of you guys get the arrows mixed up with these dashes. These dashes tell me that they're congruent, but the arrows tell me they're parallel. Okay, so what we want to talk about is all the things the parallelogram will have. Okay, you'll notice in purple, I wrote this in purple, opposite sides that are parallel to each other. So right here is AB. It's parallel to CD, and you'll notice they each have one arrow to indicate that they're parallel to each other. And then BC is parallel to AD. You'll notice that they each have two arrows to indicate that they're parallel to each other. All right, and then it's going to have opposite sides that are congruent to each other. And that's theorem 6.3, but you just need to know that their opposite sides are congruent to each other. So not only are AB parallel, but they're also congruent to each other. And you'll notice that these little green dashes, those indicate that with one mark, they are congruent to anything else with one mark. So AB is congruent to CD, as well as BC is congruent to AD. All right, and that's everything in green. Then we move on to orange here. Opposite angles that are congruent. All right, so opposite, meaning that they're across from each other. So angle A is congruent to angle C. All right, and angle D is congruent to angle B. Opposite angles are congruent to each other. And then we have consecutive angles that are supplementary, consecutive angles, right? If the lines are parallel, right, then their consecutive angles or their same side interior angles are congruent. So if we take angle A and add it to angle B, we know that we'd end up with 180 degrees. And if we take angle C and add it to angle D, then we know that we'd also end up with 180 degrees. And then this next one, diagonals that bisect each other. So right up here, if you look, these are our diagonals. And another diagonal. Well, where those diagonals intersect, they bisect each other, meaning that AE is congruent to EC, and that BE is congruent to ED. So if I know that AE is 12, then I also know that EC is 12, right? They bisect each other. And that's about all you need to know for the properties of a parallelogram. We'll be applying to the math to them in class. So have a good one, guys.